So now it's my pleasure to bring on our first guest, now that I have sort of rambled on a little bit, and hopefully he is well situated. This is Oral Ofori, who is the founder of the African Dream LLC, which is a media and consulting entity that focuses on showcasing the positive stories, achievements, and potential of Africa
Indeed.
and its diaspora. Oral, welcome to Win TV and Let's Talk.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to an exciting conversation, and happy Women's History Month, and happy International Women's Day, and we appreciate all our sisters and the ladies out there, and let's keep
Well,
it going.
we appreciate you. One, we know that you get settled. You are going over to the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Is that correct?
Yes, I am here at the Smithsonian African Art, so there's some African music on the background.
Oh, you're at the Museum of African Art.
Yes,
Okay. All right. Wonderful. That's a
Well,
beautiful, beautiful venue.
but yeah, it's been exciting. I have as part of what I do for my work, I'm bringing about 10 of the top Ghanaian performing music artists to tour the museum. It's a private tour, and it starts in about an hour from now. But I figured I'd be here early, do your interview, and also get to chat with your audience before that. So yeah.
Well, Earl, we share a mutual mission. And yours, which is to challenge stereotypes and to promote a balanced and accurate narrative about Africa
Right.
through, I mean, I stole this from your website, through various media platforms, events, and initiatives. And
Yeah.
we know, I mean, when we talk about challenging the stereotypes, I talked with a reporter the other day who said, Denise, why do you like to go to Africa? I mean, what do you see over there? And I was trying to paint for him places where I've gone, including Ghana,
Right.
where it's like Washington, D.C. in many respects, you know. But what are some of those stereotypes that you challenge?
First of all, I feel people need to keep an open mind when it comes to Africa. There are preconceived perceptions about the continent that is based on media. The very media that I'm using to challenge those stereotypes, that very media has been used for centuries and centuries to paint a bleak and negative image about Africa, where even up to this day, as far back as I first set foot in America in 2007, people were asking me, do people still live on trees in Africa?
Hmm.
So I feel like it's important for people to keep an open mind. It's important for people to question everything that they see in the media about Africa. But most importantly, it's the heaviest responsibility, in my opinion. Do your own research, find out for yourself, read. But social media, and the proliferation of media in general in these modern times make it easy for people to do their own research, but they don't. Rather, they like to go the soft way where things are thrown at them. And when things are thrown at you, the possibility that they might be biased, they might be wrong, or they might be fake is super high. So just keep an open mind, go out there, do your own research, and do research from the appropriate sources. You know,
And speaking of sources, you have the African Dream
right.
LLC. Tell us why you started that and what it is.
So the answer to that question, partially half has been taken care of in that first question you asked me.
Right.
The other half is I felt like it's very important for young people to have very authentic and proper information about Africa because, like, Africa is one of the biggest continents. Even when you look at the global map, the modern global map that is used in schools and elsewhere for research, Africa has been drawn very tiny. You know, other continents have been made to look, and even sometimes other countries have been made to look bigger than Africa, which is not the fact. The
Hmm.
real map shows Africa huge enough to fit all of the United States, Brazil, China, parts of Russia, all there, all in that continent. So Africa is where it's at. It's just that we haven't had the opportunity to tell our story in our own way, where people can get to understand what we are as a continent and who we are as a people, and realize the opportunity we present in all aspects of life, from politics to economic, aspects to religion, to business, to cultural, every sense of, human endeavor. And I feel like I needed to tell that story, and I needed a platform where people can have the opportunity to ask the questions that they would, ask themselves, or they would want to ask people from the continent, and get the proper answer that they deserve. It's a small contribution, but I feel like small and great things, small things are born, out of small efforts, and they eventually become great. With support from people like you who give me the platform to highlight what I do as far as my work is concerned.
Oh yeah, and hopefully the opportunity to partner and help to elevate some of the work that you're doing with our audiences. So when you go to the Africa, I apologize, I haven't. I've been to the website. I haven't
Sure.
explored the website. But
Sure.
tell me what the African Dream LLC offers.
So the African Dream LLC is an information and communication research consultancy where
Okay.
some of our clients include Howard University and HBCU. We have other HBCU clients like Morehouse College, Virginia State University, and embassies as well, like the Embassy of Ghana. So what we basically offer is to help people do research on all subjects Africa related, get them to understand better how things work and function on the continent, and of course connect people who are interested in Africa related stuff on or off the continent from here in the diaspora. Basically, we're building a bridge with folks here in the diaspora to reach the continent, and doing the opposite as well, because we feel like people coming together to work creates huge opportunities for everyone on all sides of the spectrum. So yeah, we feel like collaboration is an awesome thing, and we open our doors to collaboration from all sorts of people, not just Africans, because the world is a small place, and the more we work together, the better it'll be for all of us to move forward quickly and positively.
Yeah, one of the, I mean, we're going to wrap up in a minute, but one of the questions when we talk about stereotypes, of course, we're talking about American or African American stereotypes as it relates to Africa. But what are some of the stereotypes Africans have about African Americans or America?
So firstly, some Africans, I can't speak for all Africans, but I'm an African and I've had an experience. Some Africans think Americans live in a bubble. And so when they meet Africans, it's hard for them to come out of that bubble. They are more curious about, hey, is this how it's like, out there? They feel like some of the Africans feel like non-Africans or Africans in the diaspora or even Americans should keep an open mind,
Mm.
first of all, and then they don't like having their intelligence insulted with the silly questions. So when you're asking questions, just even though we want you to be genuine, we want you to also be sincere and respectful as well when you ask your questions. That's secondly. Um, also, people feel like Africa is underdeveloped or undeveloped. There are certain places in Africa where I can't even afford to live. Like there's the Victoria Island in Nigeria, you know, it's
Yes.
a super huge, expensive, exclusive place. And there are many places like that in other parts of Africa. So just when you visit the continent or when you're learning about the continent, keep an open mind, because that's where you begin to see opportunities, and that's where you begin to attract opportunities to you, because when you speak to them and they see like, oh, I can work with this person, because of how they're talking, and it looks like they've done a little bit of homework about the continent, and so
Right.
and feel more comfortable, and they open up some more to you. You'd be amazed the amount of opportunities, the amount of money, not just in cash but in mineral wealth, that is in Africa. The whole world, when I was growing up, my mom was like, the whole world wants to be in Africa, and Africans just want to be happy in their own place.
Wow. Yeah.
What
You
they
know,
also want to go out there and take that happiness shared with the world.
and we know that, in recent years, I know that, more people are visiting the continent,
Yeah.
going to different countries on the continent.
Sure.
Having some have made the continent home,
Mm,
just as there are lots of Africans who have come to the U.S. and made the United States home.
mhm.
So that's when we say the diaspora. And just for the sake of the audience, define in your words what diaspora means to you.
For me, diaspora means opportunity. Diaspora means networking. And diaspora means a seed that can grow and make Africans on the continent and off the continent work together to uplift the world globally.
Right.
Because there's so much potential in Africa. Right now, the diaspora, provides a huge amount of, economic assistance to the continent by way of remittances. The diaspora provides a huge progressive movement for not just the United States of America, but other European countries, just by way of their intellectual wealth, where you have some of the top doctors, majority of them in the US and the UK, being Nigerians and Ghanaians, for instance. So it's the diaspora is opportunity. Diaspora is a seed that needs to be nurtured and nourished, and diaspora is networking, connectivity, and cooperation.
Well,
That's
I want to thank you for this opportunity to connect and network with you. We've put up, and I'm going to ask that we put it up again, how folks can find the African Dream, your website,
right.
and to reach out and to use it as a resource to learn more
Sure.
about what you're doing, but also what those opportunities are that you've been sharing with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Thank you
I
so.
want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you as well, and I look forward to doing this again. I feel like this conversation has more connections to it, and we need to have it again sometime
Oh
in the
no, we definitely will, because we're gonna get a little bit more focused
future.
and talk about some specific things.
Sure.
We will be partnering with the Corporate Council on Africa for their upcoming business summit in
Nice.
Dallas in May, and
Nice.
so we would definitely want to have a conversation with you about business opportunities as well. So
Definitely.
there's a lot to talk about, Oral.
I know. We are looking forward to it. We are looking forward to it, Denise.
All righty.
Thanks once again for this opportunity. Happy International Women's Day. Happy Women's History Month, and power to the women.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us.